Hello everybody, this is Cynthia from Including You Journals. Today we are going to continue working in our cereal box covered journal where we have covered the inside and outside with material. We'll take care of what you can see. Yes, there's a red stripe from the cereal box underneath there. But today what we're going to do is we're going to create a page flip. This is after my signatures have already been sewn into my journal, and you can see that there are all kinds of things going on so far. We still have lots of decorating, in my opinion, to do, but I wanted to do something a little different. What do I do if I want to add a page to my journal and my journal's already put together? I've already sewn in my signatures. I don't want to sew in another signature. What am I going to do? Well, we can take a page and using a little piece of material, this is just cotton muslin, a strip right at, it looks like maybe 3/4 of an inch, not quite an inch in width. I'm going to glue in that piece of paper and stick it to the paper, glue it into the page here, so that now I have something. I can continue to flip the page. Let me see where I am. I can continue to flip the pages, but look at what happens. Now that I have glued this in, I now have a flip out, and there's a different type of interaction. And here I have created a little tuck with a piece of cardboard or cardstock paper and a little booklet that I've sewn together on one end. I've just slipped that right through there. So there's plenty of journaling space here, journaling here, journaling here, and journaling here. And that's how I would add it into my journal. And today, this is what we're going to make. All right, let me slide this out of the way and show you how I come up with that page. I'm going to find an old book of some kind. It could be a dictionary, encyclopedia, magazine. This happens to be an old something maybe from the 60s. I couldn't even find a date on it anywhere. So 60s or 70s, and the pages are larger. So I tore a page out of that, and that's all I'm looking for. Any kind of magazine or book will do. I'm going to trifold this now. I like page numbers for some reason. So as I am coming over here, you can see that I've not gone very far in. And I'm using art glitter glue. Actually, what I'm going to do is pull my Yoo-Hoo glue out. It's a new stick, excuse me for a second. And I just want to glue it all together. So here I have this. I'm going to glue down the edge here and pop it over. And I did not exceed that boundary. Now, I love these raggedy edges. I'm not cutting them off. If that is too large for my journal or too tall, and it almost looks like it is, but it's not, it's going to fit right in there. You can see. But if I don't like that it's the same height as the paper inside, I'm going to trim off this end and leave these raggedy ends. Remember, we're making junk journals. So this is where I start from. This is my base. And I have a little bit of scrap paper left over. This is my newest paper from, you can see that I made a few things already utilizing that paper. That is some of my favorite paper from Hobby Lobby, and it does come in these big old 12 by 12 sheets. I happen to be a fan of anything Victorian, and in so being and liking this and wanting to use it in my Victorian journals, I did my own research about this because I thought this looked more like a Harlequin pattern that might have come maybe from King Arthur times, kings and queens and knights and damsels in distress, what have you. And I probably would have still used this because it's antique or vintage in nature is what I'm trying to say. Excuse me for stumbling over my words. But in my research, I found out that the floors in many Victorian homes had this black and white check pattern, and it is a check pattern that I've just turned on the diagonal. And here is, I wanted to show you another page. This is a page out of a McCall's magazine that simply had recipes. I tri-folded it. You can see right here, there's not very much room for an overlap, but you can use any kind of paper that you'd like to create with. Well, I'm going to start by using this wonderful paper from Hobby Lobby. And I use a little bit of art glitter glue. Could you use your glue stick on this? Absolutely. Glue sticks are wonderful. I've just found that while I videotape, this seems to work the best for me. When I use my Yoo-Hoo glue stick, I tend to feel like I have to wait for it to dry. My paper's all warped while they're drying. Sometimes I have to put them overnight under a large book, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if that's what you have, that's what you work with. But I have found that I really like working with art glitter glue. Let me just show this right here. I ordered this in these size bottles off of YouTube. There's no glitter in it. That's just the brand name of it. You can't order it in seasons where it is freezing outside. Sometimes they won't even send it to you, but if you get it and it's been freezing, sitting in a mailbox or in a box outside your door, then it's going to freeze. And all I simply do is I put this container into this bottle I've purchased. I think they came in 8. Again, off of YouTube, I just looked for something. And what I looked for was something with a little lid attached. Most artists that I see creating on, let me pull something in dark enough for you to see that. Good. Most artists that I see working in journals on YouTube, I see them use the pen, and you can purchase those through the Art Glitter Project, Art Glitter Glue project. Or not project, but their site, not their site, but from Amazon. Excuse me, all of my words seem to be stopping somewhere else today and not coming out. I lose that pen. They come with a little stainless steel pen that goes in the lid of these to keep that from drying out. Well, every time I do that, and then I see these wonderful artists who have these cute little pens with beads and all, and so they don't lose them, they can put them there. I can't keep up with that. So mine, I've purchased these little, and you can find them on Amazon. I don't know the name. I just looked them up. But there's a little round place right here. It's where it's around the neck. And that is completely attached all the time. And I've used this for over a year now, and I absolutely love this. But I just simply take a moment to go over the sink and pour this from this larger bottle into my smaller bottle. And I usually buy 3 or 4 bottles at a time, and they last me a good long time. I just simply try to make sure I'm not ordering anything during the winter months, especially when the temperatures are freezing outside. I like this. Another reason I like art glitter glue is it dries almost instantaneously. So we'll just say that much as well. Okay, so we have one thing down. I'm looking at, I have fussy cut a sunflower, and I do think I want to use him on this page. At any time, I could switch over to my Yoo-Hoo glue stick. Again, just because I know this is drying very quickly, I'm going to keep right on using this. Use what you like. And I do believe that sometimes we prefer one thing to another. But I think it's all in, the beauty is in the eye in the beholder. Well, so is working with some products that we have to work with online. It is how it works for you, and if you like it. I'm just telling you why I like it, so that if you are starting out and looking for something to use. Now, one thing I have to watch with the art glitter glue is I want to make sure I get all the way out to the edges. I don't want edges sticking up. And the funny thing about this is even when I am using the glue stick, somehow I will invariably leave a corner unstuck. My glue stick misses it. I pull my hand away. I don't know what I do. But I just go back then and make sure that all of my edges are stuck down, and that works really well with the art glitter glue as well. Let's see right here, I see a little bit. Okay, now we're ready here. Let me put the lid back on. And excuse me for a second, I'm trying to eyeball some Hummingbird stickers that I set aside to use. And evidently I put them too far out of reach. So let's go for a label or something else that I can use to decorate with here. I like this black coming over to the other side here. Sometimes I like two. And I think this is going to work out fine. I call this part of it finished. And then we'll glue it into our journal. I wanted to show you that part of it. Hope you're having a great week. I didn't even look to see when this one is going to air. I took a week off, so I did some videotaping ahead of time so that I could enjoy the start to the new year, the last few minutes of Christmas. And in doing so, I sat down last night to watch my last video to see where I was in filming. And I was amazed that I spent about 20 minutes talking through this process. So I deleted that video before it airs, and this is the one to replace it. I thought you would rather see something than have me just simply tell you about it. All right, let's see where this other one is and where we would actually put it into our journal. Okay, so we have one here. And I believe that's the third signature, and it's going this direction. I'll see if I can't have it go in the opposite direction here when I go out. And this is going to be a little bit wide, and I'm seeing that it's sticking up a little bit so that it's going to catch when I close. I'm going to come back and just cut off the edge of that a little bit to make it a little bit narrower. I think it would fit in my journal better, and I believe I would like it, and I think the person for whom I'm making this would like that as well. Now let's see what all this looks like together, and it's not, that's way too short there. Oh, but I believe this will do just fine. All right, now you can see that all I did was tear a piece of muslin cotton, and it is a little over 1/2 inch wide. I do anywhere from about that 1/2 inch to an inch. I don't try to measure. I just simply pull it out, and then I tear it so that it's straight. I tear it on both ends so that I actually have a piece of ribbon. And I'm going to measure down the side. You don't have to have the full length. I see artists sometimes do just the middle portion, like that length, but I typically run it from top to bottom. And I will fray that just a tad. I'm not going to waste your time trying to do all that. And I'm looking here to see if I don't want to cut off just a little. And I believe I am going to pull my trimmer in and take, let's go all the way to about right here. What is that, about an inch, maybe a little less? Okay. Let's see. Now this time, instead of gluing here and then gluing around on the card this way, I think I'm going to come all the way back to this page here. Glue on this side and come around. Let's see how that works. I typically don't do that, but let's try it and see. I'll glue down one side. Again, I'm using art glitter glue. This holds fabric well. It's doing about halfway. And you can see I'm just running it down my page. You can also see how quickly art glitter glue dries so fast. My finger was stuck to that, that's why I pulled it up. Okay, let's go back and put some of that down. Okay, there we go. And then you can see here that we have a little bit. Okay, let me pull something dark in so you can see the difference. See a little bit of this material out to the side. I'm going to put a little glue on that material and tuck in my page right there with it. I think that's what I want to do. And isn't this funny? So I'm sure you noticed this while I was doing it, but it totally missed my brain at all. This morning evidently is not hooked in working correctly. But I went through and cut that off about an inch and didn't go back and cut an inch off of my material. We'll worry about that in a minute. And I can already see that I am going to want to, okay, put the page now even with the page that's in your journal, and then just pull that ribbon of material over the top of your card. Go all the way down, and I think I'm just going to leave that on there as though there were card. Oh, I like that just fine. I think I like it better than stopping the material. Okay, so here I have a flip out. Let's make sure we go all the way to the edge. Excuse me. That is a little, okay, now I see what's going on. I will have to cut that because you can see where I have the material that's stuck out there. Okay, so I've never done that. I usually glue on this side and then have my page right there to it. I don't usually glue on the opposite side and pull it over. And I understand how that's going to work, but that'll be fine. I'll cut that off, or I may just leave it riding in the wind. We'll see. I will be, as I am decorating in the journal, what I will do is I will be playing and flipping through here and see how it lays and folds, because the person that I have that I'm making this journal for, I don't want them to have any trouble with that. And again, I see that this is just about too wide, and I'm going to come back and trim some of the card off as well. But now you can see what we have done with a nice flip page. Rachel at Roxy Creations and also Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventure makes these kinds of things all the time. I see them putting flips into their books. And ladies, I will continue to aspire to do the same kinds of things you are, but I'm not quite there yet. I need some more practice. So we'll just keep making journals and practicing and having a good time. And these are junk journals, and they are made by people. And so, yes, there are going to be some errors in them because they are handmade. And I think that's part of the beauty in what we get. I just want to make a good product, and I will continue working on that. This one is not for sale. I'm actually making this one for a friend. And if you're watching, I hope you're laughing with me. You can see from my mistakes now what I'm doing in your journal, my friend. All right, everybody, have a great day. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you will try your hand at a flip out page. It just makes great for great interaction. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.